All right, you are not going to believe where we are right now. We're in Yellowstone National Park. How does the Canon RF 100 to 300mm f2.8 perform with wildlife photography? Matt Zeffie with B&H here, and we're all the way in snowy Yellowstone National Park to answer that very question. So let's get into it. It's really deep. I am post-holing on day one. You know, it doesn't look that deep from the road, but the arrival of the RF 100 to 300mm f2.8 lens sparked quite a bit of excitement, especially to those who've used the coveted EF 300mm prime. But this offers many new improvements with, of course, the ability to zoom from 100mm to 300. But is 300mm a good enough reach for wildlife? To answer that question, let's first point out some of what this lens has to offer that makes it uniquely capable in wildlife scenarios. And first and foremost, the 2.8 aperture. That is incredibly fast, meaning that this lens lets in a lot of light. Sometimes the best wildlife photos come in the morning or evening when the light is most scarce. Beyond just its low light ability, 2.8 at this focal length also delivers incredible separation. So why would you choose the 100 to 300 over any of the other lenses? Again, it all comes down to the 2.8 aperture and the ability to pair this with teleconverters, effectively turning this into a small version of some of Canon's large focal length offerings. And having a 2x teleconverter in particular means that you can cover 200 to 600mm at 5.6, which is unprecedented versatility. On its own, this lens is more than capable of photographing close range wildlife that a smaller 70 to 200mm would be way too close to capture. Oh, that's sick. A perfect example of this is Yellowstone's famous bison that roam the park. These guys are truly prehistoric. In fact, the wood bison originally inhabited Yellowstone country, and they're really the only true wild population in the country. This time of year, you can find them grazing just below the surface of the snow, and they're massive. So capturing them in their natural habitat with a 100 to 300 is the perfect lens. And speaking of natural habitat, one of the many reasons zooms can be so great is I can come in for those details around the bison's face, but then I can also back off to 100mm to capture more of the environmental portrait around the bison. It really shows the whole surroundings, where they might actually be going or walking to, and I think that really makes a whole wildlife photo so much better. When you think Yellowstone, this is sort of the scene that you think of. And having a 100 to 300 2.8 means that 1, I can separate it beautifully from the background, and 2, at 100, I can get the entire environment in the shot and also jump into 300mm and get those nice, tight, close-up detail shots. But this guy's giving me a look right now, and it just looks awesome. And with a 300, it was like a very tight shot, which looks awesome, but with a 100, I get this entire mountain range in the background, and you just can't beat that sort of flexibility in the field. Oh my gosh, star of the show here. I just got the exact location for some bighorns. Try out the 100 to 300, see how the separation is. Another famous animal here in Yellowstone is the ram or bighorn sheep, famous for their incredibly intricate horns that spiral in the most unique ways. And capturing them with the 100 to 300mm at f2.8 allows for some incredible separation from the background. And the immediate fall off while keeping that eye and face sharp makes all the difference with the 100 to 300. Oh man, that looks awesome. All right, we're photographing these bighorn sheep right now. These are truly one of my favorite animals here in Yellowstone. And I'm using the 100 to 300 because 1, I could get not too close to these guys. Definitely don't want to be too close. Got to maintain at least 25 yards, but ideally even further than that. And with 300 to 2.8, it's a level of separation at 2.8 is just incredible. Now here's a comparison of what that looks like at 2.8, f4, f8. The amount of fall off that you get behind these bighorn sheep is just nearly immediate. And you know, you do get the context of the mountains around them, so that adds a lot to the images, but still having the isolation of your subject, the bighorn sheep here, just makes the image so much better. Plus having the ability to back off to 100 mil if they get slightly closer, or if I want to incorporate the environment, also takes those wildlife shots to the next level. Now that we've seen some of those close range wildlife, let's put the 1.4 and the 2x teleconverters to see how it performs when it comes to autofocus and overall sharpness. So with the 1.4x teleconverter, we effectively turn this lens into a 140 to 420 mil at f4. And with a 2x, we get 200 to 600 mil at 5.6. Still super, super fast.
Oh my gosh, this lens is so sick. With the 2x right now, it looks like a 600 prime. The separation I'm getting behind the rams right now. At 5.6, we got 3 rams about probably 200 or 300 yards out. And it's just, even the autofocus right now is locking onto these rams so quickly.
Naturally, adding on teleconverters means that you're not going to get the exact same quality or autofocus capabilities. It just won't be nearly as quick. But in the field, the results are still extremely impressive. The focus is sticking onto wildlife, and also I haven't had any issues while panning with fast-moving birds and other forms of wildlife in the field.
All right, it's a little windy right now, but we've got these 2 bison having a little bit of a skerfuffle, a bit of a duel in front of us. Honestly, they're not that far out, and the mountains in the background just look so incredibly beautiful with the light on them, and I want to incorporate some of that into the photo, so the 100-300 allows me to crop into these bison, get a nice detail shot of them in their little duel here. And then come out to 100 mil and then get the entire environment. And I think we're gonna walk away with some awesome photos here. I wonder who's gonna win. That's awesome.
So why choose the 100-300 over some of the other lenses that Canon offers, whether it be the 100-500, 200-800, or even some of those higher end primes? What it really comes down to is versatility, fast autofocus, quick aperture, and a relatively lightweight for a lens of this nature. Now obviously, this is on the higher end of Canon's offerings, and it's geared towards professional photographers and filmmakers as well, and has the price tag to match those qualifications, but the detail that it delivers, let me tell you, cannot be stated enough. And the fact that when it's paired with those teleconverters, it dramatically expands the possibilities of this lens. And honestly, those teleconverters could potentially make this the only wildlife lens you'll ever need. All in all, the Canon 100-300 f2.8 is a highly capable lens for wildlife photography, and honestly, it takes the place of multiple other lenses, making it one of Canon's most versatile and high-end releases. But let me know down in the comments what you would photograph with the 100-300 and which wildlife photo from this video was your favorite. Let me know down below. My name is Matt, and thanks for watching.